Friends, let us now listen to Mr. Vino Borromeo and Mr. Max Baker.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone.
Hello, everybody. I'm Max Baker, PIC's Global Director of Product Sustainability. I just want to go ahead and start by thanking BPI for having me here today, and I apologize that I can't be there with you in person. Today we're going to be talking about the role of genetic improvements in a sustainable food system. And in my role as PIC's Global Director of Product Sustainability, my main goal and my main task is gaining and earning market acceptance for our PRRS-resistant pig. As many of you may be aware, PIC has a gene-edited pig that is resistant to the porcine reproductive and respiratory syndrome PRRS virus, and that we're actively working to bring to market around the globe. And so I'm excited to be here with you today. I'm excited to share some of the things that we're doing to express genetic improvements as a sustainability benefit. I've been with PIC for a little under a year and a half. I actually joined PIC after 5 years with the McDonald's Corporation, where I led their U.S. protein sustainability efforts. And so in that role, I was in charge of animal health and welfare commitments, implementing antimicrobial and antibiotic policies, and then also creating and implementing greenhouse gas reduction strategies specific to the protein supply chain. Also before that, I actually worked on farms and ranches across the United States, raising a variety of animal species in different types of production environments, and actually had the opportunity to establish a regenerative agriculture research department for a private operating nonprofit foundation.
So Max will go on with
And I share all that with you today because I think I have a unique understanding of the pressures that agriculture faces, and then also the solutions that we need to have in order to address them and to achieve those goals. And the truth is that we really are asking a lot of agriculture. We're asking for continual improvement on animal health and welfare. We're asking for a decreased need for antimicrobial and antibiotic use in our protein production systems. And we're doing all of this in the face of food affordability and availability issues. And while we're asking all of this, we're also asking for a reduced greenhouse gas footprint associated with all of this. And so how do we achieve all of these things while still having viable businesses? And I believe technology can and needs to play an important role there.
Yes, technology is going to be a key part of what we'll be discussing today on how we can apply this really to sustainable food production. As we've seen, really one of the challenges we face as an industry in farming is that we need to make sure that we produce food and get the consumers to trust what we are producing. And I think one of the challenges we've had in the past is we as farmers haven't been very good at communicating what we're actually doing on the farm so that our consumers understand that we're actually doing a lot to make sure that the food is safe, healthy, and really a quality product for them. I think if we can be better at communicating the technologies that we're applying, the management, the steps that we're taking to make sure that that food is is real a quality product and safe, then hopefully we will get our consumers to support us as we pursue this effort. And really, all these challenges that we're seeing continue to really haunt us as an industry. I mean, this last year we've seen a lot of these challenges come in, and this is something that is going to continue for the next few years. So how do we continue producing efficiently and producing sustainably to be able to address these challenges? And I'd like to share some of the technologies which I think will continue to address these challenges. Since they're not a one-time challenge, it's really going to be a lasting challenge. We've seen, as mentioned by Mark Canlas earlier, that the Ukraine issue. Well, the reality is a lot of our feed ingredients were coming from there. And so feed ingredient prices really shot up when that problem is continuing right now. We've seen the global economy situation, global inflation, labor and employment issues. All of these are pushing our costs up. And so we will need to make sure that we can really be cost effective through these difficult times. African swine fever is there. Unfortunately, I don't think it's something we're going to be able to eradicate soon. So we need to learn how to manage with it. But we've seen other markets ahead of us who got ASF 15, 20 years ago and have continued to grow their business in spite of that. Russia is one example. And through with this all, they've actually made pork production really efficient in their system, and they've actually converted a lot of their farms to really be sustainable amidst this challenge. Climate change, we know, is a reality, and that's why having renewable energy, having climate resilient technology is important for us to really be able to produce through this. And we know definitely corporate and government policies are something that is really going to affect also how we produce. We hope it would make things easier for us as farmers to produce. The reality, it makes it more difficult, but it's something we have to live with. I think in the swine industry, we've seen the challenges of moving product through the country with different LGU policies per province and having to deal with those different requirements. But unfortunately, that's something we need to work with, and we'll just need to understand how to produce in spite of those situations. So we can look at these challenges as something to put us down and keep us from moving forward, or we can look at these challenges as opportunities. And it's really for those who look at these as opportunities who will be able to capture the benefit of that opportunity and keep growing their business amidst these difficult times.
We've seen a significant rise in companies that are making commitments to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions associated with their company and their supply chains. Some of you may be aware of a group called Science-Based Targets Initiative. They're called SBTI. This is a group that corporations make their commitments to and through, and the science-based portion means that you are setting goals relative to your business that align with the Paris Climate Accord to keep global warming underneath 1.5 degrees Celsius. And so to date, more than 5,200 companies across 50 sectors are now working with SBTI to set science-based targets and to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions. Companies that have set SBTI greenhouse gas reduction goals, they now represent over a third of global market capitalization, worth $38 trillion.
So these are some of the companies that are part of that 5,200 or so companies. And actually, I had a chance to look at the list of those companies, and there are 4 Philippine companies already listed here, which is Ayala Land, Globe Telecom, Generation Hope, and SF Prime. And I think it's, even if we say sustainable food production is maybe or sustainability is a little farther away from us, but in reality, it's very close. We know those targets are being set already for 2030, which is just 7 years from now, and up to 2050 with another set of targets, and that's not too far away. So if we don't start working towards this, we're going to find ourselves being pushed out of the market or being set aside. Even if it's not in our local area ourselves, but if our customer demands it from us, let's say McDonald's or some other consumer group that is buying our product, they may be asking us to align our production so that they can also fulfill their own targets. So this is a real situation which may drive how we produce food as we move forward.
And some companies that haven't set targets, they're likely going to have to do so. There's a great example that utilizes Costco. Costco is one of my personally favorite brands. I'm a loyal customer and shop there on at least a monthly basis. But the Costco example is a strong one, and I think it shows the pressures that exist that are not going to go away, and they will persist. And so Costco actually received a shareholder proposal that asked them to set a science-based greenhouse gas reduction goal. The Costco board and leadership evaluated that shareholder proposal, and they recommended to their shareholders that they vote no. But their shareholders actually came back and they voted in favor of the proposal, and so now Costco is actually being compelled to set a science-based climate target. And we're starting to see this example play out across a variety of different businesses. You can see here a statistic from the Sustainable Investment Institute. Support for shareholder proposals on GHG emissions rose to an average of 59% last year compared to 25% in 2017. So we're starting to see this really kick up even more. And then also at the end of last year, December of 2022, as of that time, 83% of the Fortune 500 companies have climate-related targets. And of course, it's not just companies and corporations that are setting climate reduction goals. We're also seeing movement across governments around the world. And this is an article from Reuters. Philippines also has some very ambitious climate GHG reduction goals. You can see here, Philippines raises carbon emissions reduction target to 75% reductions by 2030. And the United States has also set ambitious climate goals and GHG reduction targets. So you can see here that the Biden administration is committed the U.S. government to becoming net zero by 2050. And there's even a proposal right now where potentially all publicly traded companies in the United States, regardless of size, will be required to disclose their GHG emissions through the Securities and Exchange Commission. And so when you look at these things that are happening around the globe, and this is a great U.S. example, when there is a federal climate target, and then they're going to be requiring companies to disclose their emissions, what comes next? Is there going to be some type of tax or some type of levy that will compel GHG reductions and the achievement of carbon goals?
Our country self-sustainable.